Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. Welcome to Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, where the power of spirit is ever present and we embrace an independent perspective. It's good to see familiar and new faces in our congregation, and we also say a big hello to everyone joining us online, on YouTube and Facebook. My introductory reading this morning is Morning Prayer in the Light of Sunshine. O divine spirit of eternal light, as the sun rises and spills its golden grace across the earth, we awaken to this Sunday wrapped in warmth and wonder. Let your love shine upon us like morning light, soft, steady, and full of promise. May each beam that touches our skin remind us of your presence within and around us. Let the angels of peace walk beside us, their wings shimmering with the glow of dawn, guiding our steps with quiet wisdom and joy. Bless this day with clarity and compassion. May our thoughts be bright, our hearts open, and our words gentle as sunlit petals. Let us be bearers of kindness, mirrors of the light you place in every soul. As we move through this day, may we feel the warmth of spirit in every breath, and know that even in shadow, your light is never far. It's a pleasure to introduce our guest medium for today, Spencer Rose, who will give a brief introduction about his work and then open our service in prayer. Thank you, Spencer.
Good morning, everybody. Lovely to see you all. So it's a journey which I love. I have a full-time job and it's lovely to be able to come out at the weekends and in the evenings to serve the spirit world. And all these years in, it still gives me great honor to serve the spirit world and to serve the congregations, to bring through that proof that life is eternal. And that happens in so many ways, doesn't it? It's not just through the messages, it's through us all joining here today, coming in perhaps as strangers, as friends, and we unite as one. And none of us sitting here today can deny that change in energy, can we? As we come in, we feel a sense of peace, upliftment. And I'd like to say even magic, because magic is within, isn't it? We're like children, and it's nice that we come again and we're allowed to open up and use our imaginations. And that's what connecting with the spirit world's all about. When I used to develop, I always used to say it's my mind, but the messages would come through, use that childlike within, use that magic, use your imagination, as it's easiest for us to connect with you, and how that has served me along my journey. So I thank you, everybody today in the church and at home, for joining us in this wonderful service. And I call it a celebration of life, isn't it? To know that we come and our loved ones live on. And there is more to this world, the spirit world, than sometimes we appreciate when we're going through the traumas and the so-and-so of human life. So let's join together this morning in upliftment. Please would you join me in prayer, however you wish to pray. Father God, great spirit of the land, of the oceans and of the sky, we welcome you here this morning as you welcome us. You welcome us to join you, to lower that veil this morning between the two worlds, so we can once again be touched by you, touched with your very essence, that uplifting energy, that love. And as always, I ask this morning that as we all open our hearts in anticipation for the service, we allow our spirits to open up again, like a Bunsen burner being turned up. Let us now start to feel alive. Let us now start to feel that spirit within, putting the cares and the days and troubles of the week behind us, knowing that we can pick them up if we wish at the end of the service. But hopefully we will not need it because we've been reminded that life is for living. And as the opening reading said, it's about that sunshine today, that brightness, isn't it? Bringing it into our hearts, celebrating Mother Earth and all that she brings. And of course, not forgetting the animal kingdom, because they play a big part in our lives. They bring healing to us, don't they? And comfort. And sometimes they bring that love that humans just can't reach us with. So we thank Mother Earth today for her glory. And of course, we thank you for this service ahead of us, bringing through your memories that I can work with, bringing through that proof of survival, maybe bringing through a telling off or two that only you can get away with. We welcome this. So let us now rejoice that we're with you for this short time. And we leave this service in your care and your keeping. Amen.
Thank you, Spencer. Now, please join me to still our minds and open our hearts as we pray for all those people, children, and animals in need of spiritual healing, love, and light across the planet, in nations, natural disasters, everyone involved in rescue operations and foreign aid, our National Health Service, and the selfless doctors and nurses who work tirelessly for our well-being. We pray for peace in our time and the abolition of atrocities and violence, and we thank the power of the Holy Spirit for giving us strength and hope in times of doubt and despair. We include at this time the following names from our church healing list: Lee Oswald, Peter and Anne Mott, Freya the cat, Flo, Jean, Norma, Cy, Sue Bailey, Jenny Burgess, Carol Burgess, Andy Ward, Bobby, Nikki, Ivy Salvage, Neil Johnson, Louise, Rachel, Iris, Pat Keane, Jeff Williams, Ruby, Daphne and Ivor, Linda, Andy, Zuzu, Katie, Sonia, Kathy, Don, Jamie, June and Dave Malkin, John Praxter, Cherie and Terry, Tom, Alan and Anne Kidd, Dean Ward, Lee Mottram, and Jeff Williams. We now move our attention into the healing silence, to be followed by the serenity prayer, which we will say together. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Terry, can I please ask you to take the offertory in church? Anyone wishing to make a free will donation may do so on the following link, which is also listed on our Wimbledon Facebook pages: www.paypal.com/paypalme/LAD proms. I'll just repeat that: www.paypal.com/paypalme/LAD proms. That's for anyone wishing to make a donation online via our Facebook page or the Wimbledon website. Thank you, Terry. Spencer's reading this morning will be followed by his address. Thank you, Spencer.
This is untitled. She sat at the back and they said she was shy. She led from the front and they hated her pride. They asked her advice and then questioned her guidance. They branded her loud, then were shocked by her silence. When she shared no ambition, they said it was sad. She told them her dreams and they said she was mad. They told her they'd listen, then covered their ears and gave her a hug while they laughed at her fears. And she listened to all of it, thinking she should be the girl they told her to be, best as she could. But one day she asked what was best for herself, instead of trying to please everyone else. So she walked to the forest and stood with the trees. She heard the wind whisper and dance with the leaves. She spoke to the willow, the elm and the pine, and she told them what she'd been told time after time. She told them she felt she was never enough. She was either too little or far, far too much, too loud or too quiet, too fierce or too weak, too wise or too foolish, too bold or too meek. Then she found a small clearing surrounded by firs, and she stopped. And she heard what the tree said to her. And she sat there for hours, not wanting to leave. For the forest said nothing, it just let her breathe. So, we've all been there, haven't we, in life? On this journey of life. Perhaps not fitting in. Perhaps always being the underdog. But then we find this beautiful faith and religion called spiritualism. And everything fits then, doesn't it? When we walk in, we meet like-minded people. And it's like a eureka moment to us. Because we have no creed or dogma, the Spirit will welcome anybody, don't they? Any faiths, any religions, non-believers. Because they just want to bring through our loved ones. They want to tell us that religion is simple. It's here. But we have to be awakened, don't we, to start our journey. There's no good coming into a sanctuary if we're not open. Leaving saying, well, that communicator was rubbish today. They didn't know what they were on about. Because we have to remember sometimes the medium works in symbols, don't we? We give you messages where we're on a roll, and clearly we're not talking about that subject that we're talking to you about, but you can relate it to somewhere else in your life. Spirit's work is done, job done. It's very annoying for the instrument not knowing, but that's because we have privacy, don't we? The spirit world will never do your personal business from a platform. And it's beautiful the ways, isn't it, that they bring in those codes or symbols, but you have to be awakened inside to accept them. Yes, I know this is a very progressive church and you have mediums who can give names and addresses, street numbers. Well, I don't. So I'm here today to bring through what the spirit world work with me. And hopefully you all agree that is upliftment and also bringing healing. Because healing comes through, we're taught from our four founders in the spirit world, healing can be received in a message. It might not be what you want, but it's what you need. Does that make sense to everyone? So you might be here today for a specific person. That isn't going to happen because the spirit world work in their own way. And the person you're expecting maybe not ready, Maybe they haven't learnt, because when they go over, we have been taught that they have to learn again. When I go home, it won't be as easy as just stepping in. I've got to learn how to communicate with that instrument. But if I didn't get on with that instrument on the earth plane, how am I going to work with them? So we've got to remember we're so individual. And this is where this story really comes alive, isn't it? How many of us have been told by loved ones and friends that we're not good enough? How do they know? Sometimes that's through jealousy. But it's hard, isn't it? Accepting, why would someone be jealous of me? And that's hard for us to accept, isn't it? Why would someone be jealous? But then we meet a stranger, an earth angel, who would just tell us, won't we? Do you know, you're so compassionate. Your smile lights us up as we meet you. Do you know, you're the only person to listen to me? And this is where, isn't it? We doubt ourselves in life. Apologies today, we've got some people here who don't, but I expect the majority of us have doubted ourselves in life. And that's where that trust comes in, isn't it? When we work with the spirit world, we have to have trust and faith to work. They've proved it so many times. Oh, I got this. I'm going to give it to you, but I don't think it means anything. And it makes that person's day, doesn't it? We've brought something through that we think is minuscule, and yet that means so much. We've touched that person's, I like to say, soul. And we've touched their soul. And perhaps we started them on their journey. We're also here, aren't we, to serve the one-time people who come searching. And sometimes it's just enough, isn't it, to come to a service and have an answer. And then they go away, unfortunately. But that's, again, we've brought that message. We've brought that proof that we do live on. And that's enough for people. But then, pardon the pun, there's old timers, and I'm an old timer too, where we love the faith of spiritualism, don't we? We love just that feeling of total completeness. But that's a journey that we have to go on. It doesn't mean we have to sit in circle, come on the platform. It can be personal, can't it? But you all keep coming back. And that's beautiful, isn't it? That you want to come to church, you want to link into church, because it offers you that peace. And it perhaps reminds us, doesn't it, sometimes, of when life is bad, like this poor girl, that there is so much more to life. But we do forget it. And that's why I love that she took herself to the trees. And how lovely many of us just find peace and comfort, don't we, in all the seasons of going out. I'm a summer person, but there might be people who love the autumn and winter. But isn't it lovely? And also symbolically, if you look at it, there's a meaning to it all, isn't there? Autumn, we're starting to shred ourselves, aren't we? Winter, we go into hibernation because everything's in the world dreary, it's raining. But that's sometimes when we can come alive within ourselves, isn't it? And we start to take up hobbies that we've let go, where we've been too busy, where we perhaps as young people had to put them on hold. So it's beautiful, isn't it? It's a time of rest as well. And then the spring again, the new buds, and how many of us start to feel that itching to get out, even if it's just to the local park. And don't get me started about water. Spiritually, it's the number one. But our human life, it also uplifts, doesn't it? How many of us love just going to a canal or a river, laughing at the ducks, the swans, especially when they've got their children with them? How many of us then start to feel sad, perhaps each day we go and there's less and less children? Because that eats at us, doesn't it, us animal lovers? But we have to remember that is life. That's the circle of life, isn't it? And we all go through that, don't we? And how many of us here have hugged a tree? Please put your hands up. Yes. And how many didn't feel any energy from that tree? Me. I was so disappointed that I had my wife with me, who is a non-believer, and she felt the energy of the tree. And there's the medium Spence, didn't feel a thing, but it was still pleasurable. But it's lovely to hear all of you out there felt something, because we have to remember 52 now I am, and I only just in a couple of years realised by going to Brownsea Island that the trees talk to each other through their roots. And that's amazing, isn't it? They can talk to each other about, I'm perhaps in need, I'm thirsty, there's danger coming. And do you know what? It's my belief, and it still comes true, that every illness in the world, God has locked into a plant. Because if you look at it on the news, you hear they're now looking at this and this plant. And a lot of the tribes use them anyway, don't they? And it's beautiful. So it's all but we've got to unlock it. There's no manual to tell us, but it's beautiful to hear when we go to Kew Gardens that a certain plant is being used in cancer treatment. Did we know that? And it's beautiful that they supply that. So I believe one day we just have to unlock it. It's like this big puzzle in life to us, because we're a puzzle ourselves, aren't we? How many of us can't get a bit of jigsaw to fit? And then all of a sudden, years later, it fits like a glove. And why is that? Because we weren't ready. Our minds perhaps weren't focused. We may have not been able to accept at the time. But as we go on our journey, our outlook to life changes, doesn't it? Spiritualism, we can have where we read a book and only one page of that book makes sense. That was a waste of £10. We put it on the shelf. 4 years later, we pick it up. You go to a section or a paragraph and it stands out and you think, I understand now. And that's because we've advanced within our soul, haven't we? On our soul journey, we've got to that level of understanding. So never diss anything, just perhaps sometimes think, I'm not ready to deal with that. And that relates to our human life, doesn't it, as well? How many of us are hostages? Ostriches in the room where we bury our head in the sand, thinking it will go away. And that's a life lesson, isn't it? It never does it? We come up for air and that problem's still there. But again, that's where we have to have that faith within ourselves and sometimes love ourselves, find the love within ourselves to deal with this. Because no one likes confrontation, do they? Some of you might. But it takes a lot because our words do affect, don't they, energy. And sometimes we really have to be sure within ourselves to know that our words are going to change our lives with someone. Are we prepared for that? But then the Spirit will come knocking and sometimes say, why are you a doormat? It's time you spoke out. So it shows they're never far from us, isn't it? Those who guide us, our loved ones. And sometimes it's perhaps that's a little thing to say, perhaps we're ready. Like this girl, she never spoke out, did she? And I expect some of us have been in that situation. And that's because even being a spiritualist, we can't get on with everybody, can we, in this world? I know from personal experience, we love them. We send that beautiful pink out candy floss cotton wool. But if they don't like us, how are we going to reach them? But then we do feel a failure, don't we, within ourselves? Because we're living a spiritual life, but we can't reach this person. Perhaps we never will. So that's a big thing there, isn't it? To know that sometimes we're not going to jail. And that's sad, but that is life. Their spirit may be not a light. They don't see the world like we do. but our job is just to bring that light to them, isn't it? To give them love. And sometimes that can be the hardest thing in the world, isn't it? Is to give our love when we know it's not reciprocated, but we still try. So like this girl, she had to find the forest and the trees. And isn't it beautiful that and she stopped. And she heard what the trees said to her. For the forest said nothing. It just let her breathe. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Spencer, for a very inspiring address. Now let us take a moment to reflect on those words before Spencer demonstrates his mediumship. I would ask that if a spirit communicator is drawn to you with a message, church congregation, please respond with a clear yes or no to the statement, or if in doubt, just say, I'm not sure, and Spencer can then ask spirit for further clarification. It's important for him to hear your voice, as that is the conduit of the energy which spirit need to make a strong connection. Please can I also ask church message recipients to speak clearly into the handheld microphone. So I'll bring Spencer back into that. Thank you very much.
Right, so if I'm not with you, just swap me away like a wasp, okay? Because I have a set way of working, but I'm not in charge. So, and then if I'm not with anybody, please just think he might be with me, but he's got the colour of the hair wrong or the height. Work with me, please, okay? And hopefully it will be your communicator. Right, okay, we'll see where we're going first. Good morning. Can I work with the two lovely ladies who've come in today? Are you okay to take a message? The ladies in lovely blue with flowers on. Morning. Okay. And you're together, yeah? Okay, right. Thank you. So please don't feed me, just yes, no, or you don't know, and we'll see where we go. Okay, thank you. Straight away in, I have a lady come into my vibration, and she's coming in as a close family member as she steps in, okay? Rather mother or grandmother is what she's given me here. Now, this lady's coming in, and she's coming in and she's got lots of energy to her, okay? And as she's coming in, it's almost as though she never acted her age as she comes into my vibration. Does this make sense so far, please?
I'm not sure. No.
Okay, you're not sure. Okay, I'll keep working then. Because she comes in and she says to me here, it's almost as though if you can't take it that way, this lady had a zest for life. Okay, I like dancing as well, is what she gives to me. She was a good mover, or she thought she was. Okay, she comes in and she smiles at me as she says that. And this lady always says to me, she had a good word to say about everybody, but she winks at me as she says that. Okay, so you take that how you need to. Okay, but that's her psyche, is what she comes into me. Okay, and she gives to me here, it's almost as though she says here, she was a mama. Okay, it's almost as though she got to a point in her life where she felt she was leading the family. I don't know if you can take this, but she says to me, yeah, that it's almost as though I had to wait my turn. Okay, is what she said to me. And interestingly here, cooking and food's important to this lady as she comes into my vibration. Okay, if you can't take it that way, family gatherings, okay, is important. Everybody comes, okay? And it's almost as though she says, and remember, it's almost as though everybody had to bring something. Would you accept that, please? Because it's almost as though she corrects me and says, I'm not doing it all, they can bring it, okay? So she says here, well, it's all coming into me, thank you. Would you accept also this lady was colourful? Now, you can take that in only a way that you can accept it. Yeah, okay, thank you. Because I was going to put her in colourful skirts and that, but then she changed it to language. So we'll just take it as you accept it, okay? But she laughs as she says that to me. Oh, and would you accept it? This lady starts to become unwell, okay, is what she gives to me. And she says to me here, it's almost as though I'm hiding it. I'm trying to hide it, okay, because I don't want them to know, okay? Is that correct, please? Thank you. And would you accept here, but it's not hideable? Is it okay to carry on, sweetie?
Yeah.
Thank you. And would you accept here that it's not hideable, okay? I don't know if I'm shrinking in weight or something's happening, but they're starting to notice. But I'm too far on now, okay, is what she gives to me, okay? Has anybody got any tissue, please? Oh. Thank you.
Thank you.
And she says to me here, so she's still here. She just says to me here, it's almost as though, would you accept an apology because my language is getting worse as I'm feeling unweller? I don't, that's not a word, but as I'm feeling unwell, okay?
Yeah.
And she chuckles to me and says that, and it says she apologizes, the air was blue. But you know, this was out of frustration, is what she says to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, just pure frustration. The love was still there, but it's almost as though she describes it as, I'm not me anymore, okay? She says to me, up here I'm me, but I'm not me. Would that make sense, please? And that's
Yeah.
what she gives to me here. Thank you. So we're not going to dwell on that, but she wanted to bring that in because that's important that she brings that. And it's about, she wants to thank everybody because this is what our family do, she said. It's the rallying around, okay? And it's me having to allow others to come in and to take charge.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. And this was very hard for me because I was so happy being who I was, and then all of a sudden I'm having to accept help. Would you accept here that I'm getting fussy with what I eat, though? People are bringing me stuff, and if I don't like it, I'm not eating it, okay? And she laughs as she says that, okay? But it's almost as though towards the end, my appetite changes and I want sweet food. Would you be able to accept that?
I don't know.
Okay, she just gives me cakes, etc. It's almost as though I would have wanted to go on to the dessert rather than the main. Okay, it's just what she gives to me. So she talks to me about that. So she just gives to me here, and she says, I know I shouldn't say it, but it was a big relief when I went. Okay, and this is for me, she says. So I dread to think how it was for them all, she says, but it was a relief for me. And she just gives to me here, I don't know if you can verify it, but it was so lovely to meet my parents, okay, is what she gives to me. She was over the moon with that, okay. And she says it was beautiful. It had been a long time, okay. Would you accept that this lady talks to me in a different language, please? Or she had an ability to speak a different language?
Oh, I don't know that.
Okay, right, I don't know. I might have another communicator come in then because I've got someone here. So it's almost as though, I'm going back, it's almost as though she said to me, I could understand other languages. I don't know if you can take that. If not, I'm not going to harper on that. But
no, I'm not sure about that.
Would you accept then that someone in the family can understand other languages?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
this is where we're
definitely,
going then. Thank you. I'm saying to her, sure, you got me out of that one. And she just talks about that, and she says to me, she loves that ability. It's so easy for them, okay? And then to relish it, okay, is what she says. Does that make sense, please? Okay. And she just says to me here, it's a lovely attribute to have, okay? And she gives to me here, would you accept that someone within the family has been looking into the family tree or cultures she talks about, please? Would that be true? Because she talks about that to me, and she just loves it. She says, just tell her she's opening up so many of us, because it's almost as though they say, isn't it, that we have to research us to open us up. And she says it's beautiful. It's almost as though we're being ticked off. And she says it's almost as though we're like a cocoon, and then we become a butterfly once you know who we are. So that's how she describes it. That's beautiful. Thank you. For you, would you accept, please? She just wants to bring, this might be a little bit general, but she wants to bring peace to you. Would you accept that? She says, I want to bring peace to you. Okay, thank you. And because I don't know what she's saying here. And she just says it's peace and love. And it's almost as though she says, you're doing it, you're standing on your own 2 feet, but you're not realizing. And she loves this. And
Yeah.
she just gives to me here also, and she just says here, tell her to enjoy the levitation. Okay, I don't know where we're going with this, but she says, tell her that enjoy the levitation. Okay, and enjoy those meetings. Okay, and hopefully you understand what she means. I haven't got a clue, but she talks about that to me, and she just says here, she likes the way that you're becoming complete. Okay, so she's leaving that to you today. So she said, I'm not talking about any more because you understand, she
Yeah.
says. And she just says a big thank you. And that's so important here, is what she says here. And she just says, and I'm not sure if it's for you or another, but there was someone with me as I pass, and I want them to know that I felt them. Okay, so this is holding a hand. I want them to know that I felt them, and that's important that she leaves that. Thank you for working with her. A lovely lady. Thank you. Right, where are we going next? We'll work with the gentleman, please, with the folded arms. I'm not picking on you, but yes, good morning. Yes, okay. Let's have a look. Right, I was expecting a burly gentleman to come through, but no, I've got a nana here, a grandmother, okay, who stepped into my road. Totally not what I expected. And she comes through and she's a little lady. Oh, and she adored you. Okay, I've got love here for you. I don't know if you can accept this. She literally wanted me to come down and hug, and I'm going, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
But
by all means.
and she says to me here, it's almost as though I'd only be round his waist, okay, and I'd have to look up, she said,
Oh.
but she's got this love. Can you accept this lady before we carry on?
There's a few people it could be.
Okay, brilliant. Well, this lady's carrying, she's rounded, okay? She says, I can't deny that. I would have had ankle problems in my life, or they may have just been large ankles. I don't want to insult her, but she brings that through to me. Almost as though I have feet problems, and I always like to be in slippers, okay, is what she gives to me, or nice fitting shoes, okay, is what she gives to me.
Yep.
She gives to me here that she would have, I'm not sure if we have a blue rint, but it's that sort of era we're going back to, okay, is what she liked to have. And it's almost as though there should be a memory for you of me having rollers in me hair, okay? And she just laughs as she says that to me. And as she comes through, if you can't take her as a grandmother, it might be on an auntie, because I got an auntie talking, so thank you, and she says, tell him I'm aunt. Okay, that's brilliant.
Right.
And she comes through, and she was a little belter, okay, is what she talks to me, like a little bundle of fun. Can you accept that, please?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, she says to me, and it's almost as though, she just says to me, I had no airs or graces, Spence, and I like to crack, and that's just fun, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
what she's saying here. And she said, you know, at people's expense, she said, because people can take it, okay? And she just said to me, if I was here now, I wouldn't be able to cope. There's all this, I can't think what it's called, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But she says to me here, snowflakes, she said, and I can't be dealing with that. This was how it was, she said, okay. And she just gives to me, would you accept her? She says, and also tell him about Marmite. I'd be like that today, wouldn't I? They'd rather like me or they wouldn't, okay, is what she gives to me, okay. But there must be a memory link of Marmite physically for you, because she wants to talk about Marmite with you.
Oh.
Take that, please.
I do happen to like Marmite.
Okay, right. I thought you did. It was just something as simple as that, because she gave me the jar and you were pasting it. Okay, so that's brilliant. So she talks about that to me, and she just gives to me. Oh, it's almost as though she said we were more close to each other than some of the other family were with you, and almost as though, and I shouldn't say it's meant, I'm going. It's almost as though I wish I was his mum. Okay, I don't know if she ever said that, but she just said we connected, okay?
Yes.
And she loves that way, and she just says here, it wasn't meant to be, but it was lovely that you embraced her, okay? And give her the time, and that's important here. And would you accept her? She said she loved the way as you grew up, you never forgot me.
Yes.
Yes, and that's important. She loves that and says to me, he'd always make sure I was okay. Okay, and that's important. Now, she talks about, I don't know if it was anything, but she almost as though she made provision for you in her will. Would that be, that? But it wasn't anything major. Or have I lost you?
I didn't know.
Okay, why have you said that then? Well, just take it she wanted to make provision for you, because I
Alright.
can't let that go. But it's almost as though she just talks about that, but obviously it didn't come to fruition.
Mhm.
But it's almost as though it would have been something just sentimental. Okay, I don't know if you can take now. She's bringing me a memory. I don't know if you used to play with army trucks and tanks.
Yes, I
Toy
did.
shoulders. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know why this, but it's almost as though it relates to something like that. Okay, and she just says to me here, but she used to love the way that you would get involved, and she always thought you'd make the stage. I don't know if you ever did, but it's almost as though she watched and observed you, and she liked the way that you made these figures come alive. Would
Yes.
that be true, please?
Yes.
Thank you. And she just says here, she always knew that you had that capability. And she talks to me about, please, and I don't know you from Adam, but she talks to me about your spiritual opening. Would you take that, please?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, brilliant. And she's so excited, and she just says it all makes sense now, okay, to you. And she just says to me, this lady had an intuitiveness to her as well when she was on her, and she said she could see it, and she's glad it's come into play now, okay, is what she's given to me. And she just says to me here, it's almost as though we have to, and this is with love, we have to keep his feet on the ground, okay? And I don't know if this is spirit taking you, but it's almost as though we have to keep his feet on the ground and remember to be grounded, she says, and
Yes.
that's so important, okay? And she said, what did I always teach you, or we taught you as a family? Don't run before you can, don't walk before you can run.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and she talks about that, okay, and she just smiles and says that, but she's just so excited about this. She also gives it to me as though the energy is like electrification for you, and she just says here, it's lovely being on that journey with you. So that's important that I say that to you. She just says here, in life on the earth plane, be happy with who you are and be happy on your journey. And I hope that means something, where she's not going any further.
Very much, yeah.
But yeah, she talks about that. And she just says here, and please, you can slap me if I've gone too far, but she says, please don't think you're a misfit. Okay. And I hope you'll accept that, because yeah, she wants to say that because she's saying you're not, you have a purpose. Okay, is what she gives to me. And she says here to me, tell him I'm with this woman who won't shut up. Okay, I don't know, there's a woman up there, but oh, she's driving me mad. She says she did on the earth plane here, but I've got a chatterbox of a lady. And she said she hadn't changed. She said, I need earplugs, tell him, okay? So she's just saying she's trying to come in, but I'm not letting her. But she said, oh, she still matters, okay, is what she's given to me. And she laughs as she says that. But she just says here, it's about family to her, isn't it? It's about, she wants you to know that we're all together, and there's like a circle of them, okay?
Right, yeah.
And she just says here, it's lovely, there's no hierarchy, we're all equal, and that's important that I give that. And she just now leaves, please. I don't know why she's leaving it, but take it. She wants to leave you with a piece of coal. I don't know if that means anything to you, but we'll have to work out later. But she leaves, but there must be some symbolicness or a
lump of
memory
coal.
around that. But she laughs as she leaves that to me. And she just says here, and I'm going, come on then, and she says, just tell him that will aid him to be a firecracker. But you've got to take that in the sense of something else, okay? And she leaves that, and she just says here, I just want to hug him, okay? And she's actually moved up to doing this to you now, okay? So she's got really confident.
Oh dear.
So thank you for working with her, a lovely lady.
Thank you very much.
You're
That was
welcome.
absolutely amazing. Thank you.
I may not be with you. I'm going to work with the gentleman in green, please. Good morning to you. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, the gentleman up here. So I should have been more descriptive, my apologies. I'm most probably with Stephen now, aren't I? But we'll see how we go, okay. got a lady drawing close to me, okay? And this lady comes in, and please tell me if I'm not in the right place, but this lady comes in on a love connection to you, okay? And as she comes in, she wants to talk about, we know that I had to leave the earth plane too soon, okay, is what she gives to me. And I feel there's an illness with her, okay, is what she comes into me. And she gives to me here, almost as though I want to sigh. It's almost as though it was a hard slog for me in my illness period. Would you accept that, please?
Yes, some of it, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So she talks to me about that because I can't quite establish. She's not giving me, she just comes in. So let's just keep working with her because she wants to take all that away. And I've got a lady who was a really lovely lady, you know, when you meet someone and they actually love the world and they love people, okay? And she's coming in and saying, tell him I was like that. And it's almost as though I would love going out and meeting people. And she had a smile that was infectious, okay, is what she gives to me. And she just brings round to me that she really did love living, okay? She says to me, I may not have had much, but what we had was so special. And she keeps bringing flowers and colour around to me. Can you accept that? That perhaps she was a colourful person, or she brings through, she liked the love of colour in her life. Have I lost you?
Yes, I'm not too sure who it is.
No, okay. Just to check I'm not with anyone else, because sometimes part of the
Yeah.
service I go off peak.
A lot of it is, you know, I can understand.
Brilliant,
It
okay.
sounds a bit like my mother, but I'm
Okay.
not sure.
I'll keep working then, thank you. To
Yeah.
be honest, I had a wife or a mother, and I don't like bringing through wives if I'm not right.
No, I don't have a
So I've got a
wife,
mother,
no.
thank you. So it'll be mother then, thank you. So she comes through now. Oh, yes, that's better. Would you accept her? She always will like dresses. If it's your mum, I've got a lady who always like dresses, and she
Yes.
comes in and she's like floral dresses. And it's all about this, she's got this zest for life, okay, is what she gives to me. And would you accept here that she was a nurturing mother, okay? Because the lady I've got, as though she took a great interest and time in her siblings, okay? And she gives to me here, it was all about nurturing, okay? And would you accept her that sometimes I could over nurture? It's almost as though she just gives to me here, she just says, I've got to be honest, they were the centre of my world, okay, is what she gives to me. Would that be true, please?
Yes, I would have.
Thank you. And she brings through that to me, and she just says here, it was hard not to smother them. I had to let them be, okay? Because she's saying here, this world is a big old scary place. So I had to let them learn their life skills, okay? But she was always there, and she's always with you even now. It's quite interesting. She says, I've never left him. And it's almost as though she says, tell him it is me, when sometimes he's doubting himself and suddenly he comes over feeling calm and thinks, I'm going to do that. I've made that decision. And she said, it's lovely that you're finding that. And she said, it's lovely that I can still just give you that gentle hand if you need it. Okay, is what she says to me here. Because she says to me here, she just says, just tell him I'm not doing his business, but she's so proud of how you've had to step up in life, okay? There's certain circumstances in your life where you've had to be brave, okay? And she's saying here, he's had to be brave, and she's so proud that you've done it. It's almost as though I wasn't there to help him, but he's done it. And she says, yeah, it's really good. And she just says here, and she loves the way that you've learnt to have broader shoulders, okay? It's almost as though, yeah, you've got broader shoulders now, okay? And she says he can take a lot more, okay? And she says it's all down to you. So she, just to say, she still guides you, and just to know that it is me coming in sometimes when you're being a doubting Thomas, okay? And she says it's lovely that we connect. And would you accept, please, that she just says here, the spirit world love that you're in tune with us anyway, please? Would you accept that through thought or prayer? Thinking, okay? And she says here, we love that, okay? And would you accept here that I've got some behind to go, and we get a little bit frustrated with him sometimes, okay? But he's on his own pathway, okay? It's almost as though we want to he can do so much more, but he's got to be ready, okay, is what they give to me. But
Yeah.
they talk about that, but that's your team just talking to me, and they laugh as they say that, okay? But they said, we'd never leave you, and you know that, and that's important here. Would you accept that I've got a gentleman come in and there wasn't this close relationship with him that you have with this lovely lady, your mum? And it's almost as though this gentleman, it's almost as though he gives to me, on reflection, he was a bit tough on you, a bit hard on you. Would you be able to place a man like that, please? And it's almost as though he wasn't as gentle as mum.
Yes, it's probably my father.
Okay, thank you. I
Yeah.
thought it was, but I didn't want
Yeah.
to risk that. And he's coming in, and it's almost as though he says, look at the difference of us. But please accept, and I don't know if he's been through before, but he is bringing through, there is an apology, okay? And it's almost as though he's now evolving in the spirit world, and he wants to bring that apology because you were never going to do, how do I word this? You were never going to be me, is what he says to me, okay? And this is the bit he couldn't get over, okay, yeah. And he says to me, and this is where that apology comes in. He thought, you're my son, so you must be like me. How wrong I was, is what he says to me.
Yeah.
So just take it that we've said it here, but it's lovely that he's evolving and he can see now the bigger picture, because I feel as though this man was a blinkered man in his life, bless him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gives, and mum was totally open, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's lovely, the two of them. And he said the amount of flack I used to get off her, I don't know if you know that, in private, okay? It's almost as though she was a lovely lady, but yeah,
Yeah.
she stood your ground, is what he's
yeah.
saying to me, yeah. So he brings that through to me. And he just says here, isn't it lovely that we can change, okay? And no excuses, Spence, but I was brought up like that. He thinks I was bad. He said he should have met my father, okay, is what he's saying. But he said no excuse, was met someone who was hard on
His
him.
father was I found out his father was very nice.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So there's someone who wasn't very pleasant to him then,
Yeah,
because he
I
talked.
think he had a cross grandmother.
Okay, right, okay, because he talks about that, and it's almost as though he talks, sorry, I got that wrong. He talks about that as though he just thought that was how it was, how wrong he was, okay, is what he gives to me. So please take their love, and there's not an encouragement there, because she says you've got to where you need to be, which is lovely, with something in your life, okay? So she's saying here, so you don't need that encouragement, but she just says it's just lovely to be in your company again, okay, today, is what she gives to me. And she just says here, would I be correct in saying that you're an animal lover, please, sir?
Yes, yeah, yes, I am, yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I love birds and what you call it, them especially.
Okay, right, okay. It's just she brought that in, and she just said, tell him he's still a softie with the animals, okay? So
He's been very funny.
okay, thank you. That's what it was then, because I knew something was melting your heart, okay? And when you said no, I thought, where are we going with this? But she talks about that as well and says, he's still my softie, okay? Is what she says. Take her love. Thank you for working with me.
you.
Thank you. Okay, which I'd like to work with the gentleman at the back in green, please. I may not be, but obviously I was given green, so let's work out where we're going. Oh, that's Julie.
Yes.
Yeah. I know it's, I don't want to, but would you be able to take a dog in the spirit world, please, sir?
Yes,
Okay, and would you accept that this dog was a companion of yours, please?
yeah,
Thank you. Is it okay to carry on?
yeah.
Okay, he or she's come into my vibration here, okay? And I shouldn't ask, but can you just tell me if it's a he or a she?
The she.
She, okay, thank you. Would you accept here that she talks about this bond that we had with each other?
Yes.
Okay, and she talks about, it's almost as though it's a lesson for me that even though we're trained, we have to blend with our owners, is what she talks to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
Okay,
makes
thank you.
perfect
Yeah,
sense.
and she says to me here, she talks to me about that, and she says to me, it's not just a case of I get to work, it's about knowing how, and it's Stuart, isn't it? How Stuart works. Stephen, sorry, how Stephen works. And she said, and it's also about the trust that we have to have between each other. And she said that's very important here. So she just talks about the early days, and there must have been some camaraderie, and there must have been some incidents which didn't go too well for you both, please.
Oh yeah, we had a few.
Yeah, thank you, because she brings that into me. But she just said once we were over that, she just brings through, thank you for that bond, okay, and that love. She brings that through, and she just says it's almost as though I was replaced, okay, but you remember us all for our own individuality. Would that be true, please?
I only had her.
You only had her, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So perhaps she's talking in general that they're replaced, but she talks about all our own different camaraderies.
Yeah.
And she just says here to me also, it's about, I could sometimes have grumpy days and awkward days, even though I'm supposed to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
She said I was still alive, wouldn't that? And so she wants to bring that through as proof to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Would you accept here that also standing next to her, I've got a beautiful lady coming through, and this lady also comes through to me that she would have had problems with her eyes, please. Okay, if not, she just gives me a white cane. Okay, she comes into my vibration.
Yeah, I think I know that.
Okay, thank you. And she comes in, and it's almost as though she talks about friendship with you. Okay, and she talks about she talks about as though I'm just going to give it, it's like a personal thing. It's about overcoming what we have to deal with, okay, is what she gives to me. It's about learning how to tune in to ourselves. Would that be accepted, please? Because she's talking prior to the dog here, and it's about us learning how to use our senses within, okay, is what she gives to me. But I do feel that there was a connection between you both, okay? And she talks very much about that. And would you accept here that we used to go on adventures together, please?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, she talks about that to me, and she just brings through she had a lovely sense of humour. It's almost as though she didn't take herself too seriously.
No.
We got ourselves in some scrapes, okay, is what she gives to me, okay? I don't know why she's saying that, but it's about that life is for living, Spence, she says, and we had some fun times, okay?
Yeah.
And also she talks to me about sometimes we had some hair-raising moments. Would that be true?
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, she just talks to me about that. So beautiful soul coming in. And please, would you accept here that this lady just gives to me as though I just gently pass away? Please tell me if I've got that wrong.
I think that's what happened, yeah.
Okay, just brings that into my essence here, as though
it was quickly, yeah.
Yes, yeah, thank you. That's what she's saying to me then. It's almost as though it's unexpected, okay, is what she gives to me. And it's about because of the quickness of it. But she just wants to give me that sense of being free, if I can give it to you like that, please. She just says, I want to give him that sense of being free. I hope you'll accept that. And she just says to me, she just talks about this lightness, okay, is all I can bring in, okay? You know her more than I do, but that's all she's bringing to me. But she wants to thank you for that companionship, okay, is what she gives to me. That's important that she brings that through in whatever way that you shared it, okay? And please, would you accept here that I've got another energy coming in, and they want to talk about being with you as you grow up in life and you develop, please. Would you accept that? And they just talk about being on your journey in the early days, okay? And they're talking to me about you as a little boy, okay?
All right, yeah.
Would that make sense, please?
Yeah.
And they just want to bring through that just hello to you, really. That just a sense of that they really are loved spending that time with you, seeing you grow into the gentleman you are today, if that makes sense, please. Okay, and they want to say to you here, they bring through, well done for finding your strength within, okay? And they're just saying here, it was lovely to see how you had to dig deep in your life from when you were young, and they want to talk about, okay? They just talk about a change, and all of a sudden life hits you, and they just want to talk about, well done you for getting through that. Does that make sense, please?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So they bring enormous amount of love to you. They still bring the strength of a they want to say a racehorse. I was hoping for another horse, but they bring a racehorse to you, okay?
Right.
And they bring that through, and it's all about, would you stop getting so frustrated at the moment with something, okay? Would that make sense, please?
They're watching.
Okay, and they just say, "Oh, why do
Yeah.
you get so frustrated?"
I'm doing that a lot at the moment.
Okay, and they're acknowledging that, and they're just saying here, learn just to relax, okay? Learn to accept. And they know that's hard, and they like the fire within your soul, but learn to accept, okay, is what they're giving to me. They're saying to me here, tell him, what can you change by getting uppity? Does it change anything? I don't know if anybody who's spoken to you like this, but this is what they want to say. And they're just saying here, just remember what you've got, okay? And remember this beautiful world that we live in, okay, is what they talk to me about, okay?
All
But they're saying, obviously, we have to find that these days, don't we? But they talk about your special place, okay? There must be a special place where you perhaps go inwards or you actually go to, but they want to talk about that, and they just say, get more of that, okay? And it's almost as though there's a telling off coming. You stop doing something that you used to do a lot, okay? I don't know if it's meditation or being in the silence, but it's almost as though they're just saying here, tell him he doesn't have to fill every silence with noise, okay? Does that make sense?
Do you know what? I can actually explain this, because only a few days ago, Kelly was saying to me, that's my wife there.
Yeah.
Do you have to put the TV on the moment you get up?
Even if we're not in the
Even if we're not in the room? And I went, yes, I do. I said, why? Because I need to know there's noise around and I haven't gone deaf. And I get quite, when it doesn't work, the air turns blue and I get quite, that's the frustration.
Okay.
And,
So that's lovely
so
that.
I'm watching.
Yes,
clearly.
see, and I didn't get it like that, so that's beautiful. So I'll leave that with you. So just to show they are very much around.
Great.
And would you accept here that you that your lovely dog does come to you in your dreams,
Oh,
still,
yeah,
please?
yeah.
Thank you, because she wants to
Yeah.
say that.
She
Don't
actually, sometimes I'll literally be walking across the room and I'll almost feel like I'm going to tread on it. She's like literally in front of me.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful,
really
thank you.
exciting.
Yeah, because she brings that through, and that's beautiful here.
Mm.
And she just says here, one last thing, because we started with her, so we can finish with her. Thank you for your care at the end of my life, okay, is what she gives to me. And that's
Thank
all
you.
she wants to leave there.
Yeah.
That just cemented that friendship that we had together and that love. So thank you for working with us.
Thank you.
Are we all right? Carry on? My apologies at home if I'm going too close to the screen. I forget I'm on camera. Okay, where are we going next? Let's have a look. Very torn to my lovely lady I met this morning. Good morning. Hello. Yes, may not be, but we'll see where we go. Okay. A mother vibration coming straight in. She's in like a flash there, okay? Would you accept here this mother is a very talkative lady, okay? And she said, I wasn't bossy, and she just laughs as she says it, okay? But she comes in, and it's all about being in the know with her, isn't it? She wanted to be part of your lives even when you've grown up. Would that be true, please? Thank you. And she brings that in very close to me. And it's almost as though if I couldn't see them in person, I used to call them, or I'd expect a phone call. Would that be true? But she says here once they got me, they couldn't get rid of me. Okay, is what she says, because she chat and chat. Okay, is what she says. She's just bringing in that personality. Would you accept here that this lady is very astute? She's a very clever lady. Yeah, she brings that through to me, please. I don't know if it's a you or her, but medicine's brought into my mind. But
Cherie's saying it's not. You're not with her.
I'm not.
You're talking to the lady.
Yes, sorry. Yes. My apologies. Could you take any of that? Some, right. So I might be both with you. Let's go to this lady and then I'll come back to you if that's all right.
Oops.
Okay, so you can understand this so
Okay,
far
yeah.
and you can understand bits. So I'll go to one and go to the other if that's okay. So your lady here, you can take about this, she talks about this knowledge, okay, and academia is what she wants to talk about. Just study and knowledgeable.
Well, she was knowledgeable.
Okay, I think we'll take that then. Could you take academia? The lovely lady at the back. Okay, well, I'll work here and then I'll be with you, okay? So she talks about that for me. You can take the calls about having to know she loves her children, very proud of you. Would you accept here that she would sing your praises even when you weren't around? And she just says to me, it's almost as though it's a bit embarrassing, Paul, looking back now, but they were my pride and joy and they would be shocked. I always used to tell people about them, okay, what she's given, but that's because she loved you. Does that make sense? Please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Would you accept here that this lady lived very, I don't want the word, it's almost as though she lives, she just says, tell her I lived culturally. It's almost as my upbringing and my who I was very important to me, if that makes sense. And it's almost as though I never stopped that. Okay, it's almost as though that was me, okay, and the family also. Does that make sense, please?
Yeah, that does.
Yes, yes, she talks about that very much to me. And it's almost as though she loved that she could still bring all those who've gone to spirit, she could still bring into the family life. It's almost as though this was a tradition that we did. This is how we lived, okay? And she wouldn't change it for the world. Thank you. And she talks very much about, would you accept that you at the end of my life have to look after me, please? She talks about you looking after me. And she's just saying here, it's almost as though tell her I took a spiral, a downturn, and I never recovered, really, is what she talks to me about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you. And she just wants to bring that thanks for your gentleness and your patience, okay, is what she says to me. Because I do feel as though I'm not very able as I used to be, okay? And it's almost as though I had to have space filled with people and laughter and that. I didn't like being alone because it aspirated what I was going through. She just talks about that. Thank you. And she talks, I don't know if she ever spoke to you, but she talks about finding out about loneliness during this period. It's almost as though she'd always been okay, but then she felt lonely. I don't know if you can take that. Perhaps it's just that where I am in life, but she just says it was about, and that's why it's lovely that it was constant. People were always there for me, and that's important that she brings that. Thank you. And just quickly, because she said, I've come to say what I've come to say, would you accept, please, that she talks about rather at a passing or after a passing, you get the signal or you felt something, please? Would that be?
Yes.
Yes, she brings that through and she just says it was a beautiful moment between us, okay, is what she gives to me. And she just says to me, Spence, if that's not proof, what is? She said, okay, and she brings that through. That's beautiful. So she talks about you. Would you accept here? She just said, I don't wish to embarrass her, but would you accept that you're starting to be like me or starting to think like me? And sometimes you laugh, thinking, I'm turning into my mother. Would that be true?
Yeah.
Okay. And she just loves this, and she just says here, it's lovely to see. It's not nice for you, but it's thank you for acknowledging that. It's nice that I can make you chuckle still with what she says to me. And she just says to me here, you may disagree, but she says, just tell her I like the way that you're running a steady ship. Okay, somewhere within your life, it's steady. Apologies if it's not, but that's what she wants to talk about, this steady ship, okay?
Okay.
And it's about, she's just saying here, she likes the way that you can keep yourself busy and occupied, okay, is what she says to me, okay?
do,
And
yeah.
she just says she loves that. And she loves your singing voice. I don't know if you can take that or it's a jest, but she likes that too. And she wants you to do more of that, okay?
Okay.
So please, I don't know if you would do, but she wants to leave you like this, okay? So thank you for
Yeah.
working with me. So
Thank you.
back to the lovely lady. I don't expect I'm with you, but we shall try if that's okay, as I had two there.
Thank you.
Okay. Just going to see if there's a switch. So I'm going to lose you now because the lady I've got to step in now, she's coming through, and this lady's forthright in her manner, okay, as she comes through. So I've got a forthright lady coming through,
Right.
okay, and it's almost as though she was comfortable with who she was, is what she gives to me here, okay? And she gives to me here, she called a spade a spade. I know we've had a lot of that today, but I can't take that away. But she says here, I call a spade, Spence, okay, is what she gives to me. But also, I've got a lot of power in her. Now, that's hard to explain, but hopefully you can accept that in
Yep.
some way, because I've got a lot of power in me, okay?
Yep.
And I do feel as though this lady we spoke about is knowledgeable, okay? So it's almost as though I'm knowledgeable.
Right.
I knew my subjects, okay?
Yep.
Might have not known everything about life, but if I was passionate, I'd be pretty good on what I was passionate about. Would that be true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, because she brings that through to me. And it's almost as though she had an ability to speed read books. I don't know if that's her or you, but someone speed reads. It's quite quick. They can take knowledge in, okay? So
Right.
she just talks to me about earlier about me talking. It's almost as though we absorb what we need to, okay, is what she gives to me. Would you accept it that this lady would take anybody on? It's almost as though she could look after herself. It didn't
Yeah.
matter if it's men or women. If they needed putting in their place, Spence, I would do it. Okay, is what she says to me. Would that be true, please?
In a very nice way, but
Okay,
yes.
brilliant. Yeah, you take it that way. Yeah, because she didn't give it to me like that, but she just gives me that. And she gives me, please. Now, I'm going to lose you here, but would, if I say trance, mean anything to you with this lady, please?
No,
Yourself?
no.
No, why have she given me that then? Because all of a sudden then she said, just talk about trance, okay? But that's going over your head. So I'm going to ask her what she means, if that's okay. Thank you. Okay, she said she's not going to accept it, but I need to tell you, just think about what I've said, okay? You've most probably got no inclination, but she said, just tell her, okay?
Okay.
Trance, okay, is what I want to give you. But you won't be part of the trance, you will be the trance, but you have free will. But she just brings that into me, and I can't give that away, because
No.
she said here, and it's almost as though she said, that's to come if you are open, okay, is what she gives to me. So I'm just going to leave that with you, because we can't take it with her. Can you accept it that this lady never liked her arms uncovered? It's almost as though she just keeps putting, you've got a cardigan on, so I don't know if it's you, but she just talks about, she always liked to be covered up, is what she gives to me.
Right.
Okay, I don't know why she's bringing that, but she just brings that into me. Come on then, what are you talking about here? Would she said, well, tell her I had my own unique style of dressing. Would that be true, please?
Definitely.
Okay, that's what she's on about. I thought, where are we going with that? And she talks about that, and she said that was my quirk in life, wasn't it? Okay, is what she gives to me. She very much talking, and she says here, I need to bring that in. Would you accept here that she feels at the moment we're in your life, and take this the way you need to, but she said there's a mellowment going on. It's almost as though you're mellowing, okay, is what she gives to me with love. And it's almost as though she's saying here, you're letting things go that you didn't used to. I don't know if you can accept that, but she talks to me about that. So,
Quite possibly.
okay, thank you. And I've just got to give it because she said it, but she talks to me and she said, well, whoa, where's that come from? She said, okay. And she said here, it's just an acknowledgement, okay?
Yep.
She's given to me. And she said, we can take that on one or two things, only you know, but she's saying, yeah, she's just woeing, okay? So she's saying, good on you, okay, is what she's given to me. She says here, all we require from you is that you listen more, please, okay? Open your ears more. So I don't know if that's something to do with clairaudience, but she says here, just listen more in general, okay? Because it's almost as though you're missing things, okay? So she said, that's what we want to bring through for you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And she gives to me here, would you accept a ring from this lady, or a ring that you have from someone from the
Yes.
spirit world? Thank you. And they want to talk about this, and I don't know if you twiddle with it or it's got significance, but they talk about that. They just want to bring it in because they can, but they love the way that it is still loved and
Yes.
cherished. It's almost as though it's been a while, but it still means so much, and that's
Yeah.
important. And if I have to push it, they're just saying here, you know, when you touch it, our connection becomes stronger. But I don't need to tell you that, but they just want to say it, okay? And I couldn't let that go because they want to talk about that.
Right.
So they're just coming in because they can. They're saying we've thrown her with some bits, but it's just lovely being with you today. And I don't know if you have an anniversary coming up or a passing. I don't normally get that, but they want to talk that with you. There's something coming up or it's just happened, but they talk about that.
My youngest daughter's just had her 34th wedding anniversary.
I take that then. That's good. They don't normally give me that. So that's something poignant to them that they want to talk about. That's
Yeah.
special. And as we do that, please, would you accept here that you have a granddaughter on the earth plane?
Yeah.
And they just talk about she's one to watch, please. You might know that already, but they talk about she's one to watch, okay?
Mhm.
And it's almost as though they love her openness, okay, is what they give to me.
Yeah.
And they just say a little firecracker is what they call her, okay? So take their love. Thank you for working for me today. And she just says to me here, even though I've said you're mellowing, there's still that within you to put your foot down if you need to. And I'm just going to leave that message with you. Thank you for working with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Spencer, for an excellent demonstration today. And now we have some notices before closing the service. Our guest mediums for the Divine Service, preceded by our Children's Lyceum, next Sunday, August the 24th, are Ray and Ashley Robinson. This is followed at 1:30 by Transfiguration and Mediumship with Ashley Robinson and myself, Phil Shaw. And please see the information about this event on our Wimbledon Facebook pages and website. The admission is £5 payable at the door. And if you haven't witnessed Transfiguration and Mediumship together before, this promises to be a very, very interesting experience, and we hope that you are able to attend. Please note our healing clinics are every Tuesday from 7 until 8:15 p.m. and Thursday 10 till 12 noon at Wimbledon. Both healing clinics are for members of the community and animals, and you will be greeted by our healer practitioners in a safe, friendly and welcoming atmosphere, and donations apply. Rachel Davis is also available for one-to-one crystal healing at Wimbledon and Hackbridge Spiritualist Churches. And the crystal healing is extremely beneficial for rebalancing, re-energizing, and relaxing the mind, body, and spirit. These treatments are from £35 per 30-minute treatment. And to book a session, please contact Rachel on her mobile number, which can be found on our Facebook pages and website. Our Wimbledon Friendship Club is every Wednesday from 11:30 a.m. until 2 p.m, which offers a wealth of new topics, practitioner-led discussions, workshops, and guest mediums on the first Wednesday of every month. So become a regular friend and enjoy the benefits of our expanding membership. This coming Wednesday, August the 20th, please join us for lively conversation and lots more at Friendship Club. Meet, relax and enjoy. The admission is £5, which includes refreshments. Earlier in March, we launched our special afternoon platform presentations from 1 until 2 p.m, which will be held, as I previously said, on the first Wednesday of each month until later this year. On the 3rd of September, our guest presenter will be Ashley Mills, who will be giving a talk about the Ascended Masters. New events for summer 2025, Open Circle for Developing Mediums. Dawn Collinson is running her Open Circle for Developing Mediums, and this is a great opportunity to deepen your connection with Spirit in a supportive and welcoming environment. She runs the circle on the second and fourth Thursday of every month at 7:15 p.m, and the next meeting is on Thursday, September the 11th. The cost is £7 per person. You can pay on the night and there's no need to register or pay in advance. Just turn up and we will be delighted to welcome you. Forthcoming demonstrations, new for Wednesday evenings at Wimbledon on the 27th, Wednesday the 27th of August at 7 p.m. we have a demonstration of mediumship with Martin Twycross. Now, Martin is currently president of Hampton Hills Spiritualist Church. He's a spiritualist medium and teacher based in the UK who has been working on platforms since 2003 and teaching mediumship since 2006. He holds CSNU awards from the Spiritualist National Union in both demonstrating mediumship and public speaking. And he did the majority of his training at the prestigious Arthur Findlay College in the UK, where he also worked as a tutor. Now, this event is proving to be very, very popular and our tickets are selling fast. So I would advise, if you would like to attend the event, to do an advance booking either on our Facebook page or our website. Alternatively, there are other ways of paying for future events. And apart from booking online via Eventbrite, we do accept cash at the church during opening hours. You can also pay by card, and you can reserve a place for any demonstration on our Wimbledon Spiritualist Church phone number, which is 0208 542 2394. That's 0208 542 2394. You can also pay by bank transfer or PayPal. So many different ways of paying. If you're not a social media person and you don't use internet and you can access our website, or you prefer to phone or pay at the church, there are all these options. Please note for your diary, the next open platform with myself, Phil Shaw, is on Thursday, August the 21st at 7 p.m. That's this coming Thursday. And this is an opportunity for intermediate, advanced and working mediums to practice, polish their evidential mediumship, inspirational speaking and psychic art in a welcoming and nurturing environment. Full details will be posted in due course on the Wimbledon Facebook pages regarding Open Platform this coming Thursday. Any inquiries about this should be directed to myself, Phil Shaw, at my Facebook address, which is at Phil Shaw Spiritualist Medium, or by email at philesoteric@gmail.com. So that concludes the notices, and my final reading today is by Kahil Gibran, taken from The Prophet, and this is a piece about death. Then Almitra spoke, saying, "We would ask now of death." And he said, "You would know the secret of death, but how shall you find it unless you seek it in the heart of life? The owl whose night-bound eyes are blind unto the day cannot unveil the mystery of light. If you would indeed behold the spirit of death, open your heart wide unto the body of life. For life and death are one, even as the river and the sea are one. In the depth of your hopes and desires lies your silent knowledge of the beyond. And like seeds dreaming beneath the snow, your heart dreams of spring. Trust the dreams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity. Your fear of death is but the trembling of the shepherd when he stands before the king, whose hand is to be laid upon him in honour. Is the shepherd not joyful beneath his trembling, that he shall wear the mark of the king? Yet is he not more mindful of his trembling. For what is it to die but to stand naked in the wind and to melt into the sun? And what is it to seek breathing but to free the breath from its restless tides, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered? Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when you have reached the mountain top, then you shall begin to climb. And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance. Thank you. I will now ask Spencer to close this service in prayer.
Thank you, Phil. For one final time, please would you join me in the closing prayer? So as we now start to feel our Bunsen burners turn down, as we come back into the present, and we come back into our human life, ready to go out into the world, we'd like to thank the great Spirit Father God, those who guide us, and all those who have joined us today from what we call the spirit realm. We thank you for the proof of survival, for the feeling, that essence of the spirit world. And we thank you today for that upliftment, setting us up for the week ahead so that we can go out, give a smile to the world, say hello to people and make their day. Be kind to ourselves, taking away all the readings this morning that have intertwined, knowing that we need to love ourselves to love others. So we thank you for everything that has been said and done here today. And please take our love, as your love is always with us, but know our love matches yours too. Until we meet again, amen. Please, just before we close the service, would you join me in singing happy birthday to Phil today, as it's his birthday? So 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Phil. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, everyone. I'm not the chair, so I'd like to hand back over to Phil. Thank you.
Well, that was unexpected. Thank you, Spencer. And thank you for a beautiful service. Thoroughly enjoyed chairing today for you. And thank you, everyone, and wishing everyone online and in our church a very peaceful week ahead. Those of you in our congregation, please join us for tea, coffee, and of course, birthday cake. Thank you very much. God bless.